Hi guys, my name is Juliana and welcome to my YouTube channel. So recently a new movie came out that got struck with a lot of controversy, Netflix's Cuties. After seeing the trailer and the advertisement Netflix gave this movie, I was like, no. I also commented on it on my Instagram story. I talked about the bad representation that Muslims get in the media and that Cuties is a perfect example of that. The trailer was highly problematic, like you can't defend it. But there were still a lot of people that blamed it on Netflix's ad campaign. They said that the movie wasn't intended to be sexual and it actually criticizes the sexualization of young girls. I thought to myself, I'm going to watch the entire movie, forget the trailer for a second, to kind of look at it with a clear mind. But guys, sadly enough, it was even worse than the trailer showed. This is less of a review and more of a rant instead of a review. I'm going to tell you what exactly happens in the movie and you can decide for yourself if it's okay or not. Spoiler alert, it's not okay. The movie is about Amy, an 11-year-old Muslim girl. She lives alone with her mother and her two brothers. Her father is nowhere to be found. She asks her mom every day, yo, where he at? And she doesn't know the answer. What you need to get from the beginning of the movie is that she has this miserable life. Because her dad isn't in the picture. The movie never puts emphasis on that she misses her father. The movie actually puts the emphasis on how much she dislikes her life as a Muslim, which we'll get to by the end of this video because I got a lot of things to say about that. Anyway, when she has to pray with her family, she sees Angelica in the hallway, and Angelica is this popular girl in her school. Keep in mind, all the kids in this movie are like 11 years old. Angelica is twerking in the washing room like this. Pow, pow, pow. While the camera zooms in on her butt like that. And I'm just like, no, okay, we're only 10 minutes in and you're already fucking this up. Anyway, Amy is fascinated by it because she apparently hasn't seen anything like that before. So later on, when Amy goes to school, she sees Angelica again with her friends and they are like this cool girl squad and the girls are wearing clothes like this. Let that sink in. She is really fascinated by how different their culture is than hers, and this fascination gets turned into obsession real quick when she gets home and finds out that her father is getting remarried to another woman. So he isn't divorcing her mom, no, he's getting a second wife. If I interpret that correctly, I think that's the point where Amy really despises her religion. This gets her to stalk Angelica's girl squad, so she goes after them when they are training and dancing in the park. The girls notice Amy looking at them, so they throw rocks at her and they hit her in the head. After that happened, Amy went back to her home and her cousin arrived to bring her the dress she should wear to the wedding. Amy sees her cousin's phone lying down somewhere, so she grabs it and steals it. The reason as to why she does this is because in the beginning, when she saw Angelica and her girl squad for the first time, they were making TikToks or something like that. This made Amy want the phone for herself as well, so why not steal it? The next day, something really disturbing happens. We're back at the school and the first thing you hear is these little 11-year-old girls talking about oral sex. Not only that, for fun, they are watching porn together on their phone and they are like,
oh my god, how is she not choking? Damn, that thing goes right.
I was disgusted. I really was disgusted. From that moment on, I was like, okay, yeah, this movie is going to be that bad. Anyways, the girls look up from their screen and see Amy. And then they remember that she was spying on them. So they come up to her and push her a bit around. And then they see a boy going to the men's bathroom. And they are like, here, take this phone and film his penis. Disgusting! So 11-year-old Amy, I'm going to say 11-year-old a lot, is going to the boys' bathroom with the phone, shaking because she is forced to do it, to film the boy's dick while he is peeing. Because she is nervously holding her phone like this, she doesn't actually capture the dick on camera, so good for him. For some reason, the girls accept her now because she is cool, because she did that. And they do all these kind of weird things that freak me out even more. Like one kid blew a condom like it was a balloon. And then the other girls were like, that's a condom, now you have AIDS. So they all took the girl to the bathroom and brushed her teeth with soap. Oh, there are also some older boys, I think they are like 16 or something, and they are looking at those girls who are like barely clothed, and they come up to them like, wow, damn, how old are you, you know? Amy, with all her innocence, says the truth. She's 11. For your information, all the girls in the friend group are 11. And they are mad at her. They're like, no, 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 she's lying. We are 14. You can get this. The guys don't believe it and fortunately walk away. But the fact that the director was like, okay, 11-year-old girls, you need to seduce those older people. Which even comes back later on again. But we're not that far yet. So the final fun activity they do together is sexting on a campsite. They actually have their camera turned off with the excuse that their camera doesn't work. But the boy they are chatting with is like way older than them. And at one point, one of the girls named Yasmin, she didn't really have a big part in this movie until now. Yasmin turned the camera on and pointed the camera at Angelica. So the guy sees Angelica. Angelica's really shocked by this, so she turns the camera off and rightfully so gets mad at Yasmin. And she throws the laptop away. It's Yasmin's laptop, so there's a lot of fighting going on. Anyway, this leads to Yasmin getting kicked out of the group. But now they are missing a group member because they want to participate in some kind of dance competition, and Amy is like, I'm the girl for the job. So she says to Angelica when they are alone, hey, I could replace Yasmin. And Angelica was like, no, you can't even dance. And then Amy shows her skills. She has been watching twerking videos all week. The thing is, the OG girl squad tried to do sexy like dances, but they didn't know how to twerk. But Amy learned how to do that. So Angelica is really impressed and was like, wow, teach us and you can join the team. So this is another disturbing part. While auditioning for Angelica, so to speak, Amy twerks on the floor. Literally actually does the WAP dance, you know, with her finger in her mouth. Like, disgusting! That made me furious. I really don't understand it because clearly the actress needed to learn that. So there was actually an adult learning the kid to do that, and that's just so fucked up. And I get chills when I think about like all the cameramen and adult people around this looking at her twerking on the floor with her finger in her mouth.
Electric chair.
Anyway, Amy becomes accepted and they become this close friendship. They do way more fucked up things, but what takes the cake for me is that they are breaking into a laser game arcade and then they get caught by security because they didn't pay to get in. And what Amy does to please the security guards, first off, there were 2 security guards, both male, both in their 40s, and Amy decides to twerk in front of them to let them go. This works. This works. And you see one of the 2 literally looking at her butt like, these are 11-year-old girls. Anyway, the girls get back at school and Amy gets in this fight with a random schoolgirl because she was looking at them all shady. In that fight, the other schoolgirl pulls Amy's pants down and the camera pans on her underwear. I am literally fuming as I'm saying this. And my eyes are low-key tearing up because I just think that's so disgusting and I had to fast forward that part. Because it's a fight scene. Like, what was the need to pull her pants down? And especially what was the need to zoom in on her butt like that? Anyway, after the fight she goes back home. Her cousin is at home and he notices that Amy has his phone. The movie sinks lower and lower and lower because he wants his phone back. And Amy doesn't want to give him his phone back. Therefore, Amy decides to strip down her clothing in order to please her cousin so she can keep the phone. So she literally pulls off her jacket and unties her skirt. The cousin is like, what the fuck are you doing? So he grabs the phone, but Amy pulls it back and runs into the bathroom. And then the worst thing happens. Amy pulls down her pants and her underwear. Fortunately, you don't see that. So she grabs the phone and takes a photo of her for JJ and puts it on social media out of rage. Why? The intention, the motive is not clear at all. Anyway, she posts her vagina on the internet for whatever reason. After she did that, she returned the phone to her cousin, and the next day, when she arrived at school, she got slut-shamed by everyone. One little boy in her class smacked her butt. And then she was all offended and was like, why would you do that? And he was like, yeah, you posted nudes online, you're a slut, so you deserve it. And then Amy grabbed a pair of scissors and stabbed him in the hand. The teachers luckily see this and call Amy's parents. Well, they call her mom only. She comes home in this risque outfit and her mom just got off the phone with school and Amy gets beat the shit out of her. So after this, right, her mom and her aunt try to wash the devil away with holy water, so they spraying holy water on Amy. Meanwhile, Amy has to shake the devil out of her. So you get this image where her mom and her aunt are throwing water at her, and meanwhile she is literally twerking like this to get the demon out of her system. So therefore you get this extra over-sexualized image of a child in wet clothing twerking on the floor. Because she starts off like this, but then she goes lying on the floor and does the WAP challenge again. Because of the leaked nude scandal, the rest of the group doesn't want anything to do with Amy. So they kick her out of the group and put Yasmin back in. Amy gets really upset by this because her entire family can look the same way at her again, and she really sacrificed a lot to be in this group. So what she does, which is the next problematic thing, she is stalking Yasmin, who is walking home, and she's walking past the dogs. So what Amy does when no one is looking, she brutally pushes Yasmin in the water. These are 11-year-old girls. The thing is, Yasmin can't swim. So Yasmin is literally almost drowning until she holds on to, like, I don't know how to call it, it's like a safety ball in the water. So with Yasmin out of the way, she arrives at the competition and the rest of the cuties, because that's their name, is waiting for Yasmin, but they see Amy instead, and Amy is like, I know the choreography, Yasmin couldn't come today, so I want to take over. They accept Amy into the group again, and they go on stage. They go full beast mode, and I saw that this scene was leaked online, so you've seen one of the worst things already. Anyway, they are really getting into the performance, and then when the performance is almost finished, Amy suddenly realizes that this is fucked up, because she looks at the audience and it's like 50-50. The half is really getting into it and the other half is like, what the hell, these are children, this really can be happening. So Amy has this sudden realization, right, and just runs off stage, leaving her teammates behind. Then she arrives home in that outfit, and the end was like, I thought we prayed the devil away. So the aunt starts screaming at Amy, and the mom just had enough because, you know, her husband not cheated but chose to take a second wife, and she has had it, and she's like, don't scream at my daughter, and actually accepting Amy's thoughtness. So therefore the mother also distances herself from her religion. And again, we will touch on that later. So meanwhile, the wedding is happening and Amy decides not to show up, but she also doesn't return to the cuties because she is officially done with that. She decides to throw her hijab away and just live her life as a normal girl, jumping rope with strangers in front of her house. The end. So that was basically the entire movie. Now here are my quick thoughts on it. I think that the camera choices were disgusting. First and foremost, we didn't need all those in-zooms on their butts and their vaginas. I don't even think I told you that, but there were a few shots where they literally zoomed in on their crotch. That sickened me. Like, there were a lot of directorial choices that were just way off. Also, the message is just, it's so bad, guys. Like, this movie is so Islamophobic. I'm not even Muslim myself, but they literally showed the cuties at one side of the spectrum and the Islam at the other side of the spectrum. And in the end, she decided she wanted to be neither one of those evils and chooses for a middle ground as a regular teenager. I just hate how Muslims are portrayed in the media. Again, in short, there's always the storyline with the Muslim girl who has feelings for someone who is not Muslim or who doesn't like her lifestyle anymore, so she just throws her hijab away and doesn't give a fuck. Or the Muslim boy who is a criminal. I don't know, it's always the same stupid narrative. Muslims deserve way better representation, that's all I can say. The movie makers issued a statement that they wanted to create this discussion around over-sexualizing children. How are you putting that up for discussion if you're doing that yourself? This movie felt like such a wasted opportunity. Don't watch it. Like, there's no reason to watch it because I told you the entire plot. Finally, I want to say I hope that the actresses are okay, that their mental health, their physical health is fine. I do hope that this movie doesn't get them blackballed. I hope they get work in the future because it really wasn't their fault. I blame all the adults in the situation. Anyway, have you seen Cuties? What were your thoughts on it? Let me know down below. Like, subscribe and share if you care. You can also follow me on my Instagram right here. Okay guys, that's it. Ciao.